Hello, everybody. I'm very excited to be here at the music faculty at Western because I actually graduated from this very spot almost 40 years ago. It's hard to believe as I look around in this newly renovated hall. It's wonderful. But while I was here, I had a wonderful education. The teachers were fantastic, and the equipment and the facilities were extraordinary. And I spent 4 wonderful years here. My only problem was that I was a piano major, and I really did not get along with the piano. So here I am with the piano here. It's beautiful. You know, I've had a piano in my house ever since I left Western, and even though I don't play it anymore, I've never considered selling it. It sometimes taunts me, and sometimes it inspires me, and sometimes it terrifies me. But I love the way it looks. It's beautiful, don't you think? It's gorgeous. And now I make films, and it's made an appearance in many of my films, many of them, and I know every angle. I know the feet on the pedals, and I know to shoot along the keyboard and see the audience out while the pianist is playing, and pull focus to the audience from the hands. And I know to shoot down on the hands, or even up through the hands to the face of the pianist as they're expressing themselves. And I can also go over here and shoot the hammers, and make it really abstract, almost like an experimental film. And then I can shoot through the open lid, put the music stand down, and I can see a beautiful portrait of a pianist with the orchestra behind them. So it has a beautiful visual resonance for me, the piano. But when people, is this thing okay? Am I okay here? Did this fall down? Yeah, I think my mic fell off. Just a sec. See if this works. See, the piano just did that to me. It's not staying on, really. Hopefully that'll stay. It's funny, you know, I really do feel that came from the piano. But sometimes when people mention the piano to me, I sort of feel attacked by feelings of inadequacy. And because people that I know that I used to play, they sometimes ask me at parties, or they ask me in informal situations to play, and I freeze up. But then, sometimes when I'm all alone and I know no one is in earshot, I'll sit down at the piano and I'll play a simple piece. I'll close my eyes and I'll feel this yearning that I find it difficult to understand. One thing is for sure, though, I'm not meant to be a concert pianist. Anyway, going back to 1975 when I left this beautiful school, it was my final semester, and I was in Ottawa visiting my family, and I happened to mention to my father that I thought I would go on to study a master's in piano performance, and his reaction really shocked me. He said, "No, you are too high-strung to be a performer, and it's time you just faced it once and for all." And then I had to get on the bus and go back to, those of you who have been to Ottawa know it's a 7-hour bus ride from Ottawa to London, and I had that time. It was a blessing in a way. I had that time to really think about what my father had said, and to actually search my soul, and go into silence. And I think that's the first time, really, since I was a young child, that I was able to go deep into my intuition and search for answers. I'd always done what was expected of me, at least what I thought was expected of me. And when I got off the bus, I thought I had my answer. I had my answer. I was going to quit music, and I was going to go into film. And it was quite a shock to everybody around me because I'd never even talked about film, and I'd certainly never studied it. But something about that intuitive prompting in the bus unleashed this wonderful floodgate of decisive energy So after graduating from Western, I went and applied to what I thought was the best film school in town. It's doing it again. Sorry. And I went to York University. I was accepted, and there, by some wonderful stroke of destiny, I met my future business partners. They, too, who knows how, had a background in classical music. And so we immediately connected, and we did some class projects together, and then we left film school and started our own company. We called it Rhombus, and we specialized in music films. In this new environment with my Rhombus partners, I started to feel excited about music again. Even though I thought I had cut my losses and gone into film, here I was expressing myself musically and feeling like life was unfolding naturally. And in a way, film was replacing piano as my musical instrument, or so it felt. For about the next 35 years, actually precisely the next 35 years, at Rhombus, we made dozens and dozens and dozens of films related to the performing arts. You can look on our website to see them. I'm not going to list them all, but there are many. And so I thought just to give you a taste, I would show a little clip of some of the things I directed myself over that time. You can get a taste. I'll just sit at the piano while you watch it with clip number 1.
Feathers are rolled in molasses, twisting the words from the solids to gases, not unlike the world nuclear. It's so unclear. Am I dead or am I dying? Oh, am I simply tired of crying? My name is a blackbird.
So about 6 years ago, I got a call unexpectedly and out of the blue by the general manager of the Metropolitan Opera of New York. You may have heard of the transmissions that are done live to the cinema from the Metropolitan Opera. They go out all over the world, live from performances in the hall there. I'd certainly heard of it at the time because I'd attended a few of them and was very excited by just watching them. And I think there are at least 2 cinemas in London, I think, that show them. So there are a lot of, They truly are live. Anyway, flattered as I might have been by what Peter was offering me, which was to direct one of the transmissions, flattered as I might have been, my first reaction was just this paralyzing terror, which I instantly associated with piano, my piano phobia. And I was just thinking, well, what if I screw up? Or what if I go into a catatonic faint? Or what if somebody judges me? And, I was quite experienced by this point at working with one camera, with several takes, with an editing room to put everything together and perfect it. But this was different. The Met had at least 10 cameras, and they were going out live. Now they go out live to 2,000 cinemas in 60 countries, reaching probably 200,000 people per broadcast, so it's pretty scary. Anyway, Peter Gelb, the manager of the Met, sensed my hesitation, and he promised me, he told me not to worry. He promised me the best crew in the business, and they would be my safety net. And the concept of a safety net was kind of intriguing to me, and I thought, what have I got to lose anyway? I might as well try it, so I did. The first opera, though, was pretty crazy for me. It was terrifying, actually. But somehow I got through it with the help and support of this amazing crew, and at the end I felt just exhilarated. I felt like I'd climbed Everest or survived a bungee jump. And I think in that moment, afterwards, I was bitten by the live-to-air bug. And 6 years later now, the Metropolitan Opera transmissions are a big part of my life. And the excitement that I feel when I do them, it's like not only attractive to me now, but it's addictive. I feel like I'm just beginning to understand now sort of why this Met Opera adventure fell into my lap. It has something to do with the fearful way that I fled from the piano, I'm sure, because the feelings got conjured. But it also has done a lot to teach me the difference between the kind of fear that attracts and the kind of fear that repels. Before directing an opera, it's true that I feel fear, but it's an enabling fear. It's a fear that gives me the energy and the clarity and the tools that I need to do what I need to do. You know, if you resist fear, if you fight fear, it gives you, it tires you out and it gives you kind of a foggy feeling. But if you surrender to fear, then it wakes you up and it gives you clarity. Before directing an opera transmission, it's true that I do feel fear. But it feels exciting now. The key aspect of this, I think, is what we've learned in sports is called being in the zone or being in the moment. When you feel, I imagine when I'm directing a transmission that it's kind of like the way a hockey player feels in the middle of a game when it's going right, or the way a snowbird pilot feels when flying, or something like that. This feeling of being together in completely heightened alertness with no distractions, just ready. And so while I'm at the Met working, I don't have any room for those distracting thoughts that kept coming to me whenever I needed to perform the piano. I never had room for it. There was just too much to deal with. And so when I'm doing a Met transmission, similar, I can feel the synergy of the team when we're working it through, navigating the twists and turns together, and going on and off the scripted book when a problem arises, inevitably as it does with a live situation, and just feeling that no matter what, we'll do everything we can to not disrupt the experience that the audience is having. As a matter of fact, audience members have told me that they don't mind seeing a bit of roughness now and then because it proves to them that these transmissions really are live. And we're not really going for perfection anyway, we're going for impact, which I think is one of the mottos at this TEDx talk. These days, I'm spending about 2 or 3 months a year, well, probably 3 or 4 months a year at the Metropolitan Opera in New York, and I'm still working with my partners at Rhombus, and I do performing arts films whenever I can. And right now, actually, I'm in the middle of one that I started shooting last fall in between 2 operas in the Czech Republic. And I thought it'd be fun to show you a bit of it, even though it still just rushes. I put together a clip and set it to music. It's about the music of Dvorak as seen through the eyes of the great maestro, Jiří Bělohlavek. He's one of my heroes, and I particularly like in this clip that I want to show you the way he handles his own fear. So I think we should show that clip now, and then we can talk about it afterwards a bit.
Méně klarinetu. Výborný.
To je vstup do první symfonie.
Jak je v druhém patře ta zaskleněna Pavláč, tak tam strávil Dvořák větší část asi posledních 20 let svého života.
This is the moment when the adrenaline is coming up. Yeah? Because there is no escape now. You have to go there.
Maestro Bělohlavek's words really sum it up for me. He says when the adrenaline rush tells him that he has no choice but to go out there, and you can see he's afraid, you can see he's excited, you can see him gathering energy, And to me, that's just, it's so wonderful that I understand what he's talking about, that I at least have a clue of what he's referring to when he says that, and that's some progress for me. As I look backwards, I can, over my life since I was here and even before that, I sort of see that it was all kind of plotted out beautifully, almost in the stars, and it's this kind of, it's brought me to this place right here and now, and it's interesting that this kind of beautiful symmetry and orderliness only reveals itself in the present. And so as I stand here and look into the future, I have no idea what that holds. But somehow now I feel a little more comfortable. I feel a lot more comfortable. I find the apparent chaos exciting and exhilarating in my work and in my life. But there's still this question of this instrument, the piano, that still is trying to communicate something to me. It's a beautiful thing. I love looking at it. And I think, I was wondering if I might play it, and then I thought, maybe not. If I do play it, it would be just for fun. So it's a possibility. I'm just not sure if I will or not. So thanks a lot.